Whenever I talk, I always talk completely informal. And I think complete informality is very fit my broken English. So this is much better. So at the beginning, when I present, you see some souvenir or gift, some mistake. I enjoy that. You see too much formality. Even you see the difficult to breathing, that kind of sort of formality I don't like. We are human beings, same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically. And wherever I go, I always feel like that. Yeah, same human being. Making differences. Consider some people are some important, some are not important. That's just our own mental creation. Basically, we are same. If we talk, or the contact on basic sort of same basic level as a human being, then there's hardly no cause for problem, for trouble. Respect each other, showing each other as the human brothers, sisters. Their suffering is our suffering. Their happiness, our happiness. That's the reality. So, in any way, now I'm very, very happy. Great honor is to come to this, important sort of conference. And also, me personally, now I think 52 years, almost 52 years, live in Dharamsala. So this is part of my own sort of area. So I'm great honor. And then also, last 53 years, or 52 years, 51, 1 year in Mussoorie. Then 1960 on, I lived at Dharamsala. So, 5 decades. 5 decades. There are a lot of development in this area. When I came first time, Dharamsala, Meghalaya, I think only 2 shops. One Neroji, another Kasab, I mean, Shingiwe, Buddharam. Now a lot of sort of, the restaurants, a lot of sort of hotels also now coming. And the important is the education sort of the center. And here, particularly the medical. It is very important. Everybody is concerned about their health. If health, some problem, and even mental function also may not carry properly. So physical health is very, very important. So your sort of job, your duty, taking care about health. So really very important, not only just a very important sort of work, but also I think a great sort of way to serve other people. The medical sort of service with warm-heartedness, with sense of sort of responsibility, sense of concern. Then your profession, your work, also one of the best spiritual sort of practice, helping others. Cure their sort of their problems, their pains. And some cases, almost give them new life. So wonderful work. So in Tibet, we usually say some doctor, a physician, or such physician. Knowledge is concerned, very good, but heart not that warm. So therefore, his or her medicine may not be much effective. That those people, those doctors or physicians, may not be very high, top quality, but very warm-hearted sort of person. So their medicine is more effective. So your profession, right, very important. At the same time, genuine sense of concern of patient's well-being. Right. It's extremely important. My own experience, when I sort of get some sort of medical sort of treatment in hospital, and when the doctor shows human feeling, some smiles, some real sort of warm feeling, then I, as a patient, feel very happy. He or she must take fully, must take full care. If doctor or nurses come and go without smile, treated you almost like machine. Then sometimes patient may feel, I also sometimes feel, oh, that person may carry some experiment on me. I think even curing illness, I think the patient's spirit is very important. High spirit, full of hope, trust to physicians or nurses. Even recovery, I think much, much faster. So human mind is a very, very important sort of element. So that I want to tell you. Then, of course, India. Most populated democratic country with a long history, this country, 4,000-5,000-year-old sort of history, and the cultural aspect, and the philosophical aspect. This country, I think, most advanced sort of country or area. So 1,000-year-old India's the concept of ahimsa and religious harmony. Now, when we look different part of the world, a lot of violence, a lot of injustice, and many areas, they say, do not take sort of serious concern about others' life. Then, and also, you see the conflict in the name of religion. When we saw these things, then India's 1,000-year-old tradition of non-violence. Non-violence means respect others' sort of right, respect others' life. From that, non-violence idea come, not harming others, because you must respect. They also same like us. So the ahimsa, 1,000-year-old India's tradition ahimsa, is very much relevant to today's world. Then other field, religious harmony. Again, with different sort of religious tradition, sometimes fighting, killing. Even these days, now it happens. Now in India, of course, some pockets here and there, some problem due to religious sort of differences. That's understandable. Over 1 billion population, some mischievous people, that's always happen. But overall, India, 1,000 years, I think more than 2,000, 3,000 years, they decide homegrown religions. That's, I think, earliest sort of Indian sort of religion, Sangha philosophy, Sangha sort of tradition. Then from that, different sort of the non-Buddhist traditions, ancient time, then Buddhism, then Jainism, then later, of course, Sikhism. I think very clear, the Sikhism itself, very much non-sectarian sort of principle. The Guru Nanak himself, was the pilgrimage way, made pilgrimage to Mecca. So that's the India's culture. Respect all religious traditions. But because of that, they eventually, Zoroastrianism came, settled this country. Now these days, the Parsi community, very small. In Bombay, very small, less than 100,000. But no fear. Very happily sort of live there. And then all these, then of course Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all these different religions from outside India eventually come here. So India's, the tradition of religious harmony is really a wonderful thing. It's very relevant to today's world. Now you, Indian brothers, sisters, you should feel proud. So you have very long history, very rich cultural heritage. And then, in modern time, India, since 47, India became independence. Democracy in this country, deeply rooted, in spite of some sort of problems. The basics of democratic system, very, very stable. During emergency, during Indira Gandhi, some people used to say, at that time, used to say, a little sort of say, anxiety. But after election, and transfer, because they changed the government very smoothly. Maharaj come, no problem. Very, very smooth. That's the sign of democracy, deeply rooted in this country. Compare neighboring state. Very stable. So you should feel proud. Meantime, in technological field, modern, I think the British imperialists introduced education. I think the modern education, I think quite good. That's a good thing. On that ground, that basis or that ground, the Indian sort of knowledge in science, knowledge in sort of technology, is quite sort of high. Sometimes I say, my talk, as I mentioned, very sort of completely sort of informal. So I may again repeat here. Sometimes I think because of hot climate, sometimes a little bit because of laziness, if may I say so. Tibetan also is quite lazy. One time I expressed that way. Later some people, I think this reporter, I think you mentioned, that is my sort of word. It's a little bit laziness. You see that, kasura, uncomfortable in the Indian eye, Indian ear. So then later, look, the Commonwealth game. A lot of sort of the problems happen. because of carelessness. Kasati? Complacence, yes, complacence. So here, please, now you, many of you looks very young. So now, rich tradition, sort of rich philosophy as a backbone. Now with strong backbone, now your hand now must be very active, must build this country. And now there are some nations now competing with India. So you must sort of work hard with full self-confidence. You have plenty of reasons to develop self-confidence and proud courage. That I want to tell you. Then, these days, basically, I consider myself as a messenger of Indian spirit or Indian thought. Wherever I go, I always talk ahimsa, which is harmony. That's India's tradition. So, I really acting like messenger of Indian thought. Then, last 53 years, I live in this country. So major portion of my age, from 25, now nearly 77, I live in this country. So one time, I think a few years ago, one Chinese reporter, some group of Chinese reporter, mainly from overseas Chinese, one Chinese reporter asked me, why you are mentioning you consider yourself as a son of India? I think they felt this is political sort of reasons, right? And I told, my brain, every particle of my brain filled by knowledge of thought. Since my childhood, say, you see, 6, 7 years old, I already start learning, mainly at that time, learning by heart. Those Buddhist philosophical sort of text in Sanskrit. Later it was translated into Tibetan. So we, like other sort of student, I start learning these by heart. Then, of course, later, different commentary, including Tibetan writing. So whole my life, study through that way. Still, I consider myself as a student of Buddhist philosophy. I'm still learning. So my brain, every part of my brain, filled by Malin thought. There's Indian thought. Then my physical, at that time, about 50 years already. So I told, last 50 years, this physical survived by Indian dals, Indian rice, Indian chapati. So I describe myself, I consider myself as a son of India. That's the reason. Nothing else. That the Chinese reporter seems to understand. See, some reasons, not just a mere political sort of statement or something. So as a son of India, I really feel some serious concern about corruption. Last year, when I visit Rajasthan, Jodhpur, as usually I talk some student, one student put one question to me. He's still studying. Later, when his real life starts, unless follow corruption, see, there's no way to survive. to succeed? And that kind of question to ask me. I was surprised. A student, even such young person's mind, corruption is almost like way of life. Without that, you cannot survive or you cannot succeed. Then within a few days, I was in Bombay. My friend, one businessman, one casual talk. He also mentioned, as a businessman, without corruption, you cannot succeed your business work. So these two was the occasion where I really felt that's very serious. Some other country who have not much sort of concern about moral principle, then corruption, understandable. But here, this country, generally speaking, very, very religious-minded nation. I think every Indian worship Shivaji, Krishna, and Ganesh, or Saraswati, so on, and Buddha. Sometimes I teasing my Indian friend, say they in the front of some god statue, some incense and some flower, and recite some shloka, Sanskrit shloka, but without knowing the meaning. But that's the tradition. Every Indian family, I think, do that, some kind of puja. So if you really believe God, really believe Buddha or Shivaji, you must follow their path, or their guidance. I think no God, no goddess, no Buddha, Bodhisattva say, you should lead Saraswati, and including corruption, or telling lie, or bully other, exploit other, do injustice, or killing other, stealing other. No God say that. No religion say that. All major religious traditions say truthful, honest, love, compassion. Even some problems happen, forgiveness. Never say hatred. You should practice hatred. You should practice violence. You should practice lie. No religious tradition say that. So, one way, you believe spirituality, worship, pray to God and Goddess almost every day. But then your real life, when you carry real life, no concern about corruption. That's quite a pity. Big contradiction. So I often used to telling my Indian friend, only two choices. Either accept religion, accept God, worship God, pray to God, lead your life honest, truthful, compassionate. Or worship money, forget God, worship money, and all sorts of dirty things carry without hesitation. Only two choices. If you worship money and lead sort of corrupted life, when you get older and older, you really feel great regret. And your name also may not be a nice name. In your friends or your neighbors, such person, corrupted person, very bad person. When I think that person die, I think everybody feel happy. Now that person now no longer here. Very good. Just a few days ago, I met one Cuban, one refugee from Cuba, I think 59 or something like that. So very religious-minded. So he told me he always pray to God, please bring these sort of dictators in his country, please bring to heaven as soon as possible. This looks nice, isn't it? He dislikes dictators, but at the same time, it's respect their own sort of good future. So pray to God, please bring to heaven. I think very nice. So in any way, this nation, in Kasura, beside these sort of base, actually, ahimsa, non-violence, corruption, also form of violence. You truly believe ahimsa, then your life should be honest, should be truthful. So, if you carry this honest life, truthful life, your work can be transparent. That brings respect, trust from your community, from concerned people. Then you get genuinely trusted friend comes. If you carry some hypocritical way, something hide, telling something different, a hypocritical way, and corruptions, then the very basis of friendship, that's trust, that destroy. So the individual will not be a happy person. More honest way life, whole your life will be much happier, full of self-confidence, no basis of, no ground of fear. All the time, your mind calm, happy. So now here, the preventive summary. Preventive and social medicine. Preventive. I think even for physical health, one very important, effective sort of way prevent illness or getting aging way. What's it? I think aging. Huh? I think calm mind. Calm mind very much based on warm-heartedness. So that mental state really important sort of method for preventive illness. Even some problems there with full of sort of self-confidence, calm mind, recover very fast. That much, my own experience, I can tell you like that. So, healthy body, healthy mind. These always go together. Just taking care of your body, taking medicine, with full of anxiety, full of anger, full of suspicion in your mind, very difficult. So you, although you're directly concerned about physical health, but in the meantime, as I mentioned earlier, when you sort of the treatment, the patient, you can practice warm-heartedness. And they also, you see, there's possibility, the patient who spend more time more longer period in hospital, they may also gain some experience, the value of wholeheartedness. So that much I want to tell you. So with these India's sort of basic sort of kasoda, strength or sound sort of kasoda, or sort of sound sort of values, then hard work or catching the modernity in every field. So India can be, I think, ancient time, I think, like I think Buddhism, started this country, reached almost the whole Asia. So, in future, in modern field also, see, you, Indian, can make significant contribution on this planet. So that I want to tell you. So please, then these young people, young Indian, through your hard work and utilize your sort of the great potential of your brain and potential of your heart, I think within this century, later part of this century, I think firstly, India itself, internally, much developed, externally, much developed, can be, I think, good model of the rest of the world. Although I am now already late 70s, I may not see that. I often used to telling, when I talk to some student in America and some other places, I usually telling them, those young people, you are the generation of 21st century. I am generation of, and you also, I think, almost the generation who belongs to 20th century. So we are now almost ready to say bye-bye. But you, below 30, 20, 15, you are really belongs to the 21st century. So later part of 21st century, I think some sort of positive result from your hard work with wisdom, with vision, healthy vision, right? You really can enjoy that good result. We may not see that, but I often is telling those young students, I may even from hell or from heaven, I may watch you whether you are implementing properly or not. So, we, generation who belongs to, I think here also you see, my companions who belongs to the century. So we together watch what these young people who belongs to the first century doing. So we'll watch you. If you do not carry properly, then some way we're going to punish you. Thank you. Thank you.